Okay, all good. Perfect. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Today we have two very special guests on board with us, Kirat and Ishita. So, how are you guys feeling today?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good. So, this is the finale episode of season 2 of The Show in Australia, and thank you to everyone who has tuned in through Boroni Radio or through YouTube Live. And today we will be talking about life after uni. So, both Kirat and Ishita are recent uni graduates, and first of all, we would like to start with a little introduction of yours. You can tell about where you work recently and how has your life been after uni.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first. I graduated from uni last July, so it's almost been a year now, and I'm working as a data specialist with Telstra now. And I am also a assistant in one of the real estate companies in Canberra. So it's been a pretty exciting journey so far.
That's good. That's really wonderful.
Yep, I graduated from ANU back in December 2022, and ever since then, I've been working in research right here in ANU at the John Curtin School of Medical Research. And yeah, that's what I've been doing straight after graduation. And I also run a small videography freelancing business on the side by the name of kirat.au. So just my name, and I do events, weddings, birthday parties, all kinds of videos over the weekend. Yeah.
That's amazing to know that you're doing entrepreneurship and business with job at the same time. So being graduated from uni very recently, how has your expectations versus reality, both of you?
Kira, do you want to go first?
Sure. Uh, I I think my expectations, like the difference is that I went straight into research at university. So I didn't go into corporate. I mean, I did an internship, a short internship for 3 months, but I wouldn't count that as an experience. I don't even talk about that. I went straight into uni for research. So my job is basically the same as almost the same as what I was doing in uni. Like it's sort of like completing assignments, learning new things on daily basis.
Mhm.
So I mean, I still come to a new campus. So sometimes I barely feel like I've graduated because I'm still in the same cycle of
Yeah,
studying and sort of doing some projects, assignments. I enjoy it. I really do. I do love it so much. But I think Ishita would be able to share that expectation versus reality a lot better than me. Yeah.
If I'm being honest, Disha, I did not know what to expect out of uni. So
that's
yeah,
true.
I didn't have like too many fixed expectations when I was graduating. But I think life after uni has been pretty good so far. I think and you prepared me well, not gonna lie. Like when I was a student, it was quite overwhelming
Yeah,
because of course I'm an international student as well. I had a lot going on
yeah,
alongside full-time studying, internships, part-time jobs and whatnot. It was pretty overwhelming, but I think the multitasking that I learned during uni has made my life so much easier now. So like I told you, I'm doing a full-time job in
yeah,
Telstra as a data specialist, so that is a plateful in on its own. But yeah, I feel like the other thing that I'm pursuing for one of my passions, which is real estate, just to manage the two has been pretty easy for me,
yeah,
especially after uni. But for the people who are expecting to graduate, I feel like your life after uni is going to be much easier because you're not going to have those assignment deadlines and everything. You don't have to go to classes every day. I mean, there's work, but there's continuity in work. There's no separate courses that you're undertaking. There's no like clashing
yeah.
deadlines immediately as a graduate, at least. So it's been pretty decent so far.
Okay, that's wonderful to know. As you talked about multitasking, and uni does prepare you to multitask, and I can definitely feel it in my second year itself because you got to balance a lot of things in your life, and it is not just related to work and uni, but also your emotions. And uni
Yes.
teaches you to balance your emotions as well.
Yeah.
So, how has the experience been living so far away from home and balancing work, uni, and also different emotions that you feel?
Well, it has been challenging to say the
Mm-hmm.
least. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a very hard thing to do living away from home, especially as an international student. When you uproot your entire life identity, move to a new country, the struggle of making new friends, the struggle of deciding who to trust, who not to trust, what to do, not having any mentors whatsoever, it is really challenging. But I think that presents an opportunity to discover yourself more than anything. Um, my experience as a uni student, especially a student who had to go through COVID
Mm-hmm.
alongside uni, has been very different.
Yeah.
The first couple of years were particularly hard. I was very homesick. I did not know what to do. Like, of course, I was studying, going to my classes, but that's just not enough. Emotionally, I was very depleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the first couple of years at least. But I think during that time I tried my best to socialize and just immerse myself in the entire like uni experience. And like by the end of like second third year I was sort of able to find my place in Canberra at least. Like I had my friends, a couple of friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew people, I was networking, so I was feeling a lot more comfortable. The culture shock had died down a little bit. So now I feel like I'm pretty happy. Now Canberra has sort of become my comfort zone.
Yeah.
To say the least, like anytime I go back home, I kind of feel out of place there.
Yeah. No,
So
that's true.
so that's a struggle. Your identity is a mix of both worlds. But yeah, I feel like it still gets very challenging sometimes when you're away from home, you're emotional, you don't really have a lot of people to lean on, and you don't want to be like calling back home and like bothering your family with
Yeah.
it. It is challenging, but I think that's a great opportunity for character development. That's what makes you stronger. That's what forces you to introspect into your own personality. And I think
Yeah.
you only it's like a diamond being polished, so no complaints.
No, I really love what you said, like each word of it. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Kirat, do you have to add something in?
I think my experience was very different to what Ishita might have gone through and what you might have gone through, because I was a transfer student. So
Oh,
I joined my degree midway over here. So I didn't really have time for emotions.
wow.
And the the bigger issue was that I had 2 years at ANU, one of which was passed in COVID, sitting back in India. So as soon as I came to ANU, I had 2 semesters before I graduated. So it was just like a roller coaster for me. And
Oh,
to make things worse, like that 1 year that I had at ANU was my honors year. So didn't
Damn.
I have not processed anything. And then after ANU ended, I got into the race of finding an apartment, finding a job, and then settling into the job. So it has just been like a flash for me, and I've really started to feel my emotions and feel that I moved abroad, and now this is how it's going to be. Only around, like, I think 3 months back, I've started to sort of feel like what Ishita is mentioning, but I haven't felt it when I was studying at ANU, because it was just really rushed for me.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but I mean, yeah, that was an experience as well. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's crazy because you just had 1 year of ANU.
Yep.
So you are transfer.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And so how was your experience in India versus in uni in Australia?
I think that I was able to manage it a bit, but the academics in colleges in India and versus here, it's so day and night apart that, first of all, no one prepared us for it, not our college, not ANU. Like, there were so many points of communication that ANU could have communicated something, our college in India, that it's going to be different, or you should be a
Yeah.
bit more prepared or something. So I just imagine, like, studying in India, those who have done it would understand what I'm saying. Like, you don't have that kind of pressure and kind of assignments that we have gone through. Like, me and Ishita had some common assignments as well. So uh, like, you
Sleepless
don't,
nights.
yeah, like, I remember that we pulled off a one
All
nighter
nighter.
for a assignment
Yeah.
Coffee after
together as well.
coffee,
Oh my
yeah.
god. I
uh,
have done so many all-nighters.
so I think that shift that I had, like,
Mm-hmm.
getting the first assignment in ANU was one of the scariest experience I've had. And so no one told me that when you join your honors year, it's your responsibility to find a project and a supervisor.
Yeah.
So the semester was going to start in like 3 days, and I was just sitting and chilling when someone just asked me like, have you chosen your supervisor? I'm like,
Uh,
I am waiting for the email. They're like, no, you have to do that. You have to sit on Zoom calls, you have to go through the campus and the student projects on the website. So I was completely aloof from all that, like no one informed us. And maybe it was my responsibility to know,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't put that effort. So I found a supervisor in like 3 days. I picked up the first project I found, which clearly was so out of my field. So adjusting into that, I mean, yeah, it has been a roller coaster for me, but it's over now. So I'm
uh,
happy.
that's that's actually also teaching you resilience in a way, because you learn to adapt to different things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I definitely agree, there's always a lack of certain communication, but maybe I'm immune to that now, so it doesn't really bother anymore. It's like you have to find your own thing, and you have to actually discover the ways yourself, because there's no one gonna help you.
See, that's the biggest
Yeah.
difference. I feel like Kirat is a transfer student, right? So I think you did 2 years back in India.
Mm-hmm.
Before I came to NU, so basically where the academic cycle ends after college in India and where NU
Yeah.
starts, there's like a 6-7 month gap. So I went to a college in India as well, so I can kind of understand there is absolutely no pressure. But I think one of the main things is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in India, it used to be like just how it is structured, the education system, it keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
In Australia, the accountability falls on your shoulders. So doing the actual thing might not be as hard as making yourself get up every day and holding yourself accountable
True.
and just sort of collecting your thoughts, what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. It is all on your shoulders.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you become an actual adult in Australia.
Exactly. Very soon. Which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're doing different and diverse jobs, and um, so how's your experience in jobs? Is it similar to how it is in uni when you are accountable for everything, or is it more supervised or guided?
See, job is a very different scenario. At least I'm talking from the point of view of a corporate job, from
Mm-hmm.
my Telstra job. Because I know that a lot of people, when they graduate, they go through grad programs. So the whole idea of a grad program is to recognize that this person is straight out of uni and they might not know what they're doing exactly. So at least in my grad program, it has been very, like, the team has been incredibly supportive, and there's some sort of a mentor figure in all the teams that you go to. But it is not like spoon feeding, or nobody's holding
Yeah.
your finger to, like, kind of, walk you down your path. You need to discover it. You might be a grad, but you are also a fully developed adult at that point of
Mm-hmm.
time. So you need to be very proactive regarding what are you doing, how are you doing it. You need to reach out to people, if you have any questions, any doubts. They're very busy people. They are at senior positions in the company, so of course that there's a lot on their plate. So yeah, the accountability still is on your shoulders, but I guess you can gather the help that you need if you put in reasonable efforts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yep,
Kirat?
I think the guest that you chose was the right choice, because my experience is completely opposite from hers. Like she's on the
No, we
corporate
wanted a
side,
diverse panel.
I'm on the research side.
Diversity.
So uh, what happens is, like, I work in bioinformatics, which is biology and computer science and data analytics combined. So the funny story is that when I tell you that I found my supervisor within 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
that was a bioinformatics project, and I had no idea about bioinformatics. I just took it because that was the only project that I could get in 3 days, and I joined it, and I couldn't do anything in that project for the first 6 months because obviously I don't know anything about biology. But my supervisor was teaching me along the way, and I was failing at a lot of things. But within the last 6 months, I just picked up, and the Indian student in me sort of woke up and just completed everything. And
Yeah.
I mean, I barely got through that project. Like, I won't lie, I think I barely just passed, but that taught me a lot of bioinformatics. And when I graduated, like, the first job I applied was this the job that I'm doing right now. But ANU is so slow; they took 5 months to reply to me, And within that time, I found another job. I did like 3 4 months over there, and then one day in the lunch break, they called me, "Oh, you had applied, 5 months ago." I'm like, okay. And then this I joined this role. So for the first year, like, this is my second year of that job now. So for the past year, we have been working on a project that involves conservation of Australian reptiles, so lizards, turtles. We have a very diverse set of reptiles over here. So that was my project, and I have just completed my first research paper as well. So we have been doing some research on a lizard over here, and I'm the first author on that research paper. So I've been
That's
doing
great.
that. And starting this year, my position was changed. So now I'm working on the precision medicine for indigenous people. So a lot of indigenous communities here in Australia have like 30 40% more diseases than uh, Australian people. And what happens is that the medicines that we currently get in our pharmacies and everywhere, they're not designed for them, because they were adapted to different environment before the Britishers came and
Mhm.
all the whole that scene happened. So that's the project now. So we're doing some research on indigenous people, and we're trying to develop some precision medicine for them. So the way it works in the research field is that like you are accountable for everything. If I am assigned something and I do it wrong, the whole project can go to waste. And I made many mistakes during the course of these research projects. But I think the work environment and the culture here in Australia is very supportive, in a way that I wasn't scolded for those
Yeah.
mistakes, but and I wasn't thrashed upon or something like that. Like, it is very common in India to face that. Like, every time I make a mistake, like, I have been so scared to tell my
Yeah.
supervisor that this has happened. Like, even a couple of weeks ago, I made a really big blunder and I was really scared. But my supervisor is literally so nice that he says, like, if something good happens, like, you take the responsibility. If something bad happens, we as a team take the responsibility. So I think the research side can be described very much like, Big Bang Theory. If you have seen Big Bang Theory, that's how it really works in ANU as well, which is a nice experience. Yeah.
And that's something I can also add on to, saying that Australian work environment is pretty supportive. Um, my first job was an admin job, which I don't talk about because it was very bad. But my second job in retail, where I actually worked with Australians, it was really nice. And as Kirat said, that you don't get scolded or thrashed at your job if you do something wrong, and that was something that used to like hold me back before actually getting into a job. So I didn't work for my first semester at all. And I started working from my second semester in uni. And the only thing that was holding me back was, what if I do something wrong and managers shout at me or whatever? But when I started actually working, it doesn't work like that. And people are really supportive and they know it's your first time doing these things as well. So yeah, that's a good difference as compared to in India. So as doing uni, like doing jobs after uni, all. So how was the process of getting into job? Was it hard? Was it like you had to apply to 10,000 different jobs and then got one? How did that thing go?
Okay, I don't mean to scare people off, but it is incredibly challenging, incredibly hard. Because I guess my experience so far has been like, during uni I always had good grades.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't an issue. I was always a good student. I had done internships during my time as a uni student, basically. So I was doing part-time jobs, I was developing my soft skills, I was developing my hard skills, doing projects, internships, corporate internships, mind you. And but when you graduate from uni, a lot of people are graduating throughout Australia. So when you're applying for jobs, the pool of candidates is massive.
Mm-hmm.
So you really need to know how to make yourself stand out. And if I'm being honest, you cannot make yourself stand out at every job. There's always going to be somebody better than you for that job, but that doesn't matter. That shouldn't hold you back. I think some of the very, very important things while going through a job is having a good resume and cover letter. because that is the first impression that you make on any hiring manager.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of resumes coming in all the damn time for them, so it really needs to be very precise. It needs to cater to the job description. So just a little handy tip for the people who are going to be applying for jobs soon: do not use a generalized resume. Edit it, make it specific for each job that you apply to. Use your cover letter to address how you will be the ideal candidate for that job. Each and every job, I know it is a tedious process, but it is totally worth it. And of course, like, I applied to a lot of jobs as well. And I went to, like, I did interviews, I
Mm-hmm.
did coding interviews, because my background is in computer science. So different stages for different companies. Some jobs I got, some jobs I unfortunately couldn't make it to the final stages. And it can be very disheartening, not gonna lie. Especially for the jobs that you're really really
Yeah.
looking forward to. If you're not able to get through to them, it can be really disheartening. But I think at the end of the day, if you fall down 7 times, you should get up 8. And that's the sort of mindset that I went into this whole job hunt process. It is tedious, but once you find a job that you like, which pays you well, it is totally going to be worth it. At this point of time, do I have any complaints that I have to apply to so many jobs? Absolutely not,
Mm-hmm.
because I am in a good position right now, and
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the work that I'm doing. So yeah, it is a tedious process, but I feel like you have to push through at least for a couple of months, at least till the time that you have, like, some sort of employment that is satisfactory
Yeah.
for you. So giving up is just not an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense because it also conveys a very big message that you're just trying, but and when you're getting it a really nice thing. So it's like the reward is really nice and your hard
And
work
it is
pays
a
off.
learning process as
Yeah.
well. Because, like, the first time you start applying for jobs and you get rejections, and you're like, what's wrong? I could have done this job so much better. But that's not the point. You know that. The hiring manager does not know that. So, presentability comes into play a lot as well. So, like, more you go through this process, more you learn about yourself, like, more you learn about how to present yourself in the world, not just like
Yeah.
in front of any hiring manager, just in front of anybody. I think there's a lot to learn throughout this process.
No, I definitely agree with
Yeah.
that. And it teaches you a lot of things about real life, and
Mm.
that makes you improve yourself better and better and then get your
Yeah.
hard work paid off.
Yeah.
Um, Coming to you, Kirat, so I have seen a lot of your content on social media, and you also talked about being able to do videography and also having a freelance videography business. So how was that? Did you start it when you started uni or after you started in job sector, and how was it balancing job, uni, and your business?
Uh, I've always been doing it as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing it for what, 8 years? Like I'm 23, but I've been doing videos for 8, 10 years. Like if you go to my YouTube and you scroll all the way down, you'll find like a 9-year-old video of me talking to the camera as well. But it was a hobby until lockdown. So in COVID-19, when I was just sitting at home, I was like, no, this can't be a hobby anymore. I need to make some money out of it. So
Yeah.
that's when I started learning the commercial side of things, and that's when I started making money from it. And by that, and coincidentally, like by the time I had to come to Australia, I had a diverse portfolio.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a surprising thing. Like in my first week of coming to Canberra, like someone in College of Science had watched my videos, I think through some YouTube suggestion or something, and they offered me a casual position to work in that department.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, I got fired from it 6 months later. That's another story, but they did hire me, and I was able to make good money out of that as well. And then when I started doing that, I found out that videography is one of the highest paid skills in Australia. So I started picking up some weddings through word of mouth and some events here and there. And slowly, I started building sort of my name and my portfolio even more diverse. And today I do run that as a freelance videography business. Like if someone comes with an inquiry, I would
Yeah.
respond back to them and I would take up events. But I have two regular clients, which is the College of Arts and Social Sciences and College of Law.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my regular weekend clients. But yeah, I take things as they come. I think I can't comment much on it. Like I've always loved it, so it feels very natural to me. If you have to force it, it will eventually not work. And if money is the motivation, people all sometimes say like, money is not important and all, but money is very important.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take up projects when they don't pay me enough, or when I feel like it's not worth my time. Just because I enjoy it, I won't do it for less money. But then again, the first thing I think has to be like, if you enjoy it, it'll just keep happening. So I don't really have much to comment on that. If you enjoy it, like, it
Yeah.
will happen.
That's wonderful because you're creating your passion into your business and that's actually generating you an income, which is pretty good, and also sort of a dynamic thing into your portfolio, because you're doing what you're doing for fun and then you're making money out of it.
Yep, yep.
So that's pretty good. So coming back to the whole point of graduating, how did you feel when you graduate? How did your parents feel, and what was that moment for you guys when you graduated?
Everybody in my family cried. So I remember I was doing, like, I was all dressed up in my regalia, right in the hall, ready for my graduation walk and everything. And there was my brother, like, in the
Yeah.
audience with my friends. He was FaceTiming my entire family. Everybody, like, was crying. Well, so it was a very emotional moment for me and my family, especially because I'm a first generation
Yeah.
university student, and that too I moved to Australia at the age of 18. And there's been a lot of emotional and, like, just a lot of physical emotional sacrifice involved in this whole education journey of mine. I think when I did my graduation walk, I just felt like all the hard work that I had done for 4.5 years had paid off.
Mhm.
That one walk was kind of the moment that brought it all together. So it was a very, very euphoric moment for me. And a burden was just off my shoulders, like, okay, finally I did this. This is what I moved away from home for, and I accomplished that. So that was a very nice moment for me. And from what my family tells me, what my parents tell me, I think it was a very, very proud moment for them. Because, see, uni is no joke.
Mm.
You can summarize your entire uni experience by the name of one degree, but that's such an understatement, because university is not just the courses that you do. The education does not end and start and
Yeah.
end in the classes. It is the whole experience. It shapes you into a different human being. It can either polish you into a better version of yourself, or it can derail you from what you were before. That choice is a choice that you have to make every day as a university student. That is not a one time choice. Every day there's always going to be this option of being clear about the goals that you want to achieve, with your whole university experience. So you can either choose them, or you can get distracted by the million other things that are out there. So really it depends on the person. Now I'm not gonna say, like, like, when you start university, like when I started university, I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
So my knowledge of what goes around the world was very limited as well. So as you are going through this experience, of course, like, pick up on other stuff and see if anything interests you, and if you want to pursue anything else. So yeah, I think it's a journey.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to actually message down this whole thing. And I follow your brother too because he's my friend, but he did write down we win as a family today, and that
Yeah.
was such a beautiful statement. And um, that's true, because you are not the only one who sacrifices, but it's your entire family. And
Family. Yeah.
coming down as a first generation child who does uni, and that too abroad.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah.
think it's more, your university journey is not just it's not just a contribution of one person. Your relationships matter a lot, not just with your family, like your friends, your family, every relationship that you have in life suffers
Yeah.
because you have to take away time from them and dedicate to something else. But I think relationship management is also one of the key skills university taught me.
Yeah.
It is hard, but you need to set boundaries. There needs to be a balance between your relationships and then your work and then your university and your development for like future ambition and whatnot. But yeah, you get there, you get there. And even for the people who are graduating listening to this podcast, really, it's not rocket science. You'll get there.
No, that's lovely. What
Yeah.
about you, Kiran?
My journey was was a bit different again. Like I graduated in December 2022, but I was so stressed with finding a job, applying for my TR, finding a house, that
Mm-hmm.
I just told my parents, come next year. So I just canceled my walk that year, the year I graduated, and I told them, come in December 2023. So that was because like I felt like, first of all, I don't have the funds myself to, when my parents come to
Yeah.
Australia, I want to take them around and take them to Sydney, take them to Melbourne and show
Mhm.
them around. And I don't have the funds and also the mindset to do that right now because I'm stuck in so many things, that I was like, you know what, next year, maybe hopefully I'll have a job, I'll have, I will be settled, I'll have a good apartment and stuff. So I told them, come next year, it's okay. So last year in December 2023, they came to Australia, and thankfully by then everything was okay with me. So that was a really really fun experience. Like my dad runs a marketing
Mhm.
business back in India, and when I was born, like he used to go to UK and do odd jobs over there to earn money from our family. Like he has built everything from the very scratch. So for him to send his kid abroad and see him graduating at ANU when he already has a job and is doing, sort of settled in life, at least he has passed that phase of graduating and finding a
Yeah.
job already. So I think it was an exciting but also calm moment from them, that okay, he's doing good. So I had a bit of a different experience there as well.
That's beautiful to know because it's still a long way for me to graduate and do things, but I feel like just being here and being in my second year itself is a very big thing for my parents because when I was back home in the entire summer, I could see my parents being very proud of what I've done in the past year, and I could hear them in their voice that they were proud of me. Like Indian parents do not say it on your face that we are proud of you, but these are the small actions that just make you realize that you have done something, you have made it, and that's what all makes the difference. So coming back to your reflections, so if you had to give yourself in uni some sort of advice that this could be something I could have done differently, or are there no regrets at all and you're happy with whatever you did in your journey, and there's any piece of advice you want to give to students who are currently in uni and are supposed to be graduating soon?
Uh, for me, I don't know if it's a regret or anything. It was kind of a forced situation with COVID that 2 years, my second year and my third year, we were forced to be locked away from people because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't socialize that much, you couldn't attend events in person. The uni experience was totally hampered, or like it stood still basically. So there's nothing much I could have done about it. But if there's one thing I could do differently, I would be more present on campus. Because see, I know it is hard, and even while I was going through this university experience, some days can be so overwhelming that you do not want to get out of bed. And
Yeah.
but the days that I did, the days that I forced myself to get up, get ready, come to campus, just chill, even if it's in the Cambry lawn, like whatever, I
Mm-hmm.
think I just felt so much better. So the more present you are, the more you gain out of it. I mean, you can't really predict what's going to happen throughout the day just sitting at home, but like you're running into your friends, you're meeting new people, you're surrounded by opportunities. So you never know who you're going to run into. You never know if you're going to find your next job or internship through somebody. You never know if you're going to form a relationship a friendship or anything that is going to last a lifetime or is going to bring significant value into your life. So just being more present is something that I would do differently.
I love that advice and I need it more. Kirat, what's your take on that?
I think I would have, if if I had to do something different, I would have not focused on my hobby or videography as much and focused on studying more, because what happened after or during my first semester was that not only did I get fired from my casual job, but I
Mhm.
was barely barely passing in a couple of courses. So to trying to manage both the
Yeah.
things, I couldn't do either of them well. So I reached a phase where I was like, I'm not good at that, and I'm not good at that in this either as well. So if I had to go back, I would maybe focus on studying a bit more, because thankfully I didn't have any failures in any of the courses. But if I did, that would change the course, reapply for student visa and pay the fee again. So the stakes were much higher, but back then, I just didn't realize it. Thankfully nothing bad happened to me, but I've seen it happen to a lot of people around me. So if I had to go back, I would just be a bit more careful and not sacrifice my studies for something else, even if it's making money or anything. Yeah, that's all.
No, I really love that advice, and combining both of your advices, it just means that it's very important to maintain a balance and to be aware of the things that you're doing, but it doesn't hamper the main purpose you are here, which is to actually study and graduate. Or maybe people are here for experiences as well, but being in uni, it's important to maintain your grades and stuff as well. So, talking about your uni experience, what has been the thing that you learned the most out of uni and is also helping you in your professional career?
I think with me, it's a very it's a soft attribute. Of course, I've learned a lot of things in uni. My entire computer science skills, my technical skills, everything was built in uni. I had no background in computer science whatsoever. But that's a different thing. I feel like there's other resources of learning that as well. But the whole university experience, the main thing I gained out of it was composure in my personality.
Mm-hmm.
Because when during university, like we discussed before, there's a million things going on at the same time. There's a million tabs open in your brain, and it can be very
Yeah.
frustrating, very overwhelming, can make you want to shut down or crash, whatever terminology. A lot of uni students have mental health issues as well, as we all know, and unfortunately that's something that's very common. So with me, for me, like this entire experience, the thing that I gained the most was I knew that only I can save myself. So the composure in my personality, the ability to just like, it doesn't matter what's going on in my life, I can sit down, I can take a deep breath, I can think about it. If I cannot find a solution immediately, that's fine. I will do the best that I can do, and the solution is going to come to me at one point of time eventually. So that composure has really helped me in my professional life as well, because sometimes you just cannot afford to be
Yeah.
impatient. Things take time. There's a process to everything. There's, especially when there's multiple people involved, multiple thought processes involved, you need to be patient. And you need to be able to listen to what input others are giving you, and at the same time you need to be able to respectfully make a significant contribution as well.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. If somebody is saying something, that's their point of view. You are at the table because you made space for yourself. So if you deserve a seat at the table, you also deserve a word in the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what I've gained out of uni, most of all.
That's absolutely incredible. And I agree with that because I have also learned to be patient in a lot of scenarios because I feel like what we talked about rejections earlier
Mm.
and having to fail and learning that also teaches you a lot of patience and calmness along the way because it just makes you feel that, oh, I have to be patient in this process. There are better things on the way, and I'm definitely gonna make through it.
Yeah, and rejections, I feel like how, like when I started facing rejections, right, very initially, of course it's disheartening because you start questioning your self-worth. Am I not good enough for
Yeah.
this, right? Or like, but that is the thing, nobody is perfect at any given point of time. If you want to achieve something, the first step is recognizing what skills you don't have to get it. Because if you're not going to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
yourself, so let's say you're applying for a job, and there's like a full set of job description. Let's say you meet 60% of the criteria, but the rest 40% is very
Yeah.
important to the company as well. So that 40%, like, be happy about the 60%, but be constructive about the 40% as well. This is where I lack. And rather than sitting down and sulking about it, that, oh, I didn't learn this in uni, all my professors didn't, like, teach
Yeah.
me this. Take corrective action.
Yeah.
What's happened has happened. You can't go back in time. So if there's something that you really want to achieve, see where you lack and then work towards, making yourself capable enough.
And this is also for everyone who just came out of school, because I also came here when I was 18. And when you are in school, when you are back home, you just apply to a couple of things, and most of the things you get in because good. If you maintain your good grades and like good co-curricular, there's like more chances that you usually just get into everything that you apply, which is not a thing when you move abroad, because that's particularly not something your employer might be looking for. And there are so many different and diverse variety of things and skills you can take up, learn, and experience. And learning that rejection was the biggest experience I have had here, so that I can actually make myself like water, just being
Hmm.
able to fit into all the different departments, like however you
Hmm.
want me, not
Hmm.
like being a proper thing that I know this, I can do that, I can do that, but being a fit for what an employer is looking for.
Hmm.
That's what it teaches. What is your take on that?
Um, I think university has taught me how to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have some things, it has just taught me how to manage them and just get things done, like by hook or crook, like
Yeah.
just anyhow. Because even like last week, I was thinking about this same thing. Like I got two very hard deadlines, one at work and one from the College of Arts and Social Sciences, and they were both like non-negotiable. Like I couldn't tell either of them that can I take one more day, can I take 2 more days, and both the tasks, like office was going to take me obviously like 8 hours, and the video
Yeah.
was going to take me like 6 hours. So that was the day. So I woke up all tense, like this day
Mm-hmm.
is going to be hard. This was just like last week, but that's what the university has taught me, like how to manage these situations essentially. Like, so I went to work, I got things done at work, and then I came home and I'm like, for 2 hours I'm not going to think about anything. Maybe I'll just hang out with my friends, or drink some tea, go to the gym. For 2 hours I'm not doing anything at all. But after 2 hours I'm not going to sleep until the
Yeah.
video is done as well. So I think, yeah, that's what university has taught me. Like I chilled for 2 hours, but then I did eventually complete the video by 2 a.m. as well. So I think getting things done is what university has taught me, just
Yeah.
in few simple words.
I can agree on that. In my second year itself, so many deadlines, and I just like remember. I mean, I was an all nighter last week as well, and my only break was the fire alarm, which is so yeah. Just like getting your things done before the deadline is very important thing in your life as well as in your professional journey, because in terms of work you learn, like if I do retail, I have to maintain the budget and stuff, and this
Mm.
is a particular deadline that you're supposed to make, and you get incentives for that. So like reward, deadline, and stuff, it's a big cycle that goes round and round, but it does teaches you a lot of things. So coming back to both of your professional journeys, so what has been your biggest learning from your professional experience, and something that you wish could have been different in your professional journey at this point?
Different, I'm not entirely sure. Because to be honest, I've really been enjoying it. If, like, I'm a big believer, if everything goes according to your convenience, there's really not much to learn.
Yeah.
And as a graduate, all you want to do is learn, because the harsh reality is, even after like 3, 4, 5 years of uni, you do not know much. about the real world. You've
Yeah.
just laid down some basic foundations, but the real world, you need to catch up to pace.
Hmm.
So really, all you want to do as a graduate is learn as much as you can. So I wouldn't really like change anything in my professional
Yeah.
journey, but the biggest thing I've learned from it is just cut out the bullshit. That's what I've learned. I know there's a lot of noise in uni.
Yeah.
A lot of essays you have to write for some reason. Okay, I understand research and everything, but there's a lot of noise.
Mm.
If we are like, of course, I understand the point of that is to like, help us open up our thinking space. But in the real world, be as specific as you can be.
Yeah.
Not like people don't have time to waste. That's the biggest thing. So if you can deliver answers in a simple and concise manner, that is going to take you a long way. Even with the real estate thing that I've been doing, with the Telstra thing that I've been doing, everybody values their time.
Yeah.
And as a real estate agent, right, why would somebody hire me to make
Mhm.
their life easier if I can deliver them answers, if I can get the job done, if I can cut to the chase?
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned. Like, there is absolutely no need to like bullshit. There is absolutely no need to stretch out stuff unnecessarily. People value meaningful contributions when they're concise and get the message through. That's what I've learned. Yeah.
That's a beautiful lesson. And talking about the voices, as you are speaking about, there are also sometimes that there are voices that held you back, and that could be by yourself as well,
Mm.
or the people that care the most about you, because there's always certain fear in yourself as well when you're applying for different roles.
Yeah.
Just the fear of rejection, no matter
Mm.
how much you talk about it, it still gets into the way, and the fear to fail. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, I'm going to say this right now. So, this is a quote that I came across very recently, but has just been engraved in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally relate with this. I have been a student,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes over precaution is like just harming you as much as
Yeah.
not doing anything. But this quote that I read recently, very short and simple: fear is temporary, regret is permanent.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I second that.
yes, yes, I know that you're afraid. Do it afraid.
Yeah.
The worst that could happen is somebody could say no, or you wouldn't have that thing. You don't have it right now anyway. What's the harm in trying?
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
I
Yeah.
mean, like try. Like the worst that could happen is nothing will change,
Mm.
and nobody's sitting there judging you. If you're going to try, you have everything to gain and nothing to lose,
Yes.
and you are actually more capable than you think
That's
most of the
true.
times.
That's
So yeah.
actually a very wonderful line that you said, that you're more capable of yourself. What do you think about yourself? And I feel like the worst can happen is you'll not get it, as you said.
But you
So
still don't have it, so nothing
yeah.
changes.
So nothing changes.
Yeah.
So just like controlling your inner voices is also a very big thing.
Yeah.
Kirat, coming to you, what has been your most reflective thing out of your professional journey?
I think not out of my professional journey. Like, fortunately, everything has been going so far like smooth over there. I think learnings come from like hard situations, like
Mhm.
Ishita mentioned. Like, if everything was going to our convenience, then I
Yeah.
mean there is nothing to do or nothing left here. But I think I've been in bad situations over the past 2 years. Like, the first job that I joined when I was waiting to hear from ANU, that was a really really bad
Yeah.
experience for me, where I used to leave home at 9 and I didn't know when I was coming back at night. So I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't cooking. Like, my entire life was revolving around my job, and I failed to recognize that I'm being exploited, and this is now it how it should be. So getting out of that situation, recognizing it and dealing with it, is something that was a very difficult experience for me. And then during the same time, I was stuck in a legal thing related to a house lease as well.
Mhm.
So getting out of that took me around 3-4 months, and I lost around $3,000 in that whole fiasco. So I have been facing some bad situations, and I think those are the ones that have been teaching me. And so my job has been sort of my calmness and my peace, actually, which is contrary to what a lot of people face. So I think I'm lucky in some ways, and then unlucky in others, but yeah, that's how it has been. Yeah.
So as you mentioned about all the things that you have faced, and I remember one of your recent reels posted about when you landed in Australia, you
Oh,
lost
I mean, my bad luck started
luggage.
from the day I came here. But yeah, I hope
No.
it's over now. Everything has been going well for like 3 months now.
No, we hope that for
Let's
you.
not jinx it.
Let's not jinx it.
So, definitely for you, you might have learned a lot of resilience because since you started in Australia, there have been series of
Yep,
fun, adventurous
yep,
things
yep.
happening
I mean,
with
I had
you.
no choice or say in either of that, but it has been, yeah, just roll with the punches. Like, that's all.
But that has made you so confident at this
uh,
point that you can share them and you can share your
well,
experiences.
I hope the next time you invite me, I don't have any more bad experiences to share, but yeah.
No, but that have been adventurous too.
Mm-hmm.
It's stories that we listen and we have intrigued, we have
Yep,
fun
yep.
by them.
I
Yeah.
mean, they'll be turned into reels very soon, but yeah, it's content. Yeah.
Yeah, true. So coming back, as we have already hit the clock, last thing that I want to ask you guys is anything that you want to share with the recent graduates, any pieces of advice, words of wisdom, or anything you just want to say that this is one thing that I want to tell you as a graduate now.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you're done with your graduation, see, graduating like any is a big opportunity, so don't take it for granted. Put everything that you have into, like doing your degree and try to make the most out of it. But being a recent graduate myself, biggest piece of advice is have fun doing it. So eyes on the prize, but have fun doing it, because you're not going to get a second life to do all the enjoyment that you want to. This is not one life to do all the work that you want to. You have to do it within
Mm-hmm.
one lifetime, and you are only a certain age exactly once in your life.
Yeah,
So yeah, even if it's about graduating, or even if it's after your graduation, a job that you're trying to, like get, or if you're trying to buy a house, whatever your goal is, eyes on the prize, but always have fun doing it. Mingle with the people around you, chill with your friends, spend time with your family. Taking a break is very important. So yeah, enjoy the journey.
that's beautiful. What about you, Kiran?
I think I would say is like a lot of people just tell you a lot of things. Like when I was applying for jobs, like every second person would tell me like this is wrong in your resume,
Yeah,
this is wrong in your cover letter, and sometimes they're well wishers as well. But in my experience, like 90% of that has been bogus. Like the jobs that I have got, like both the jobs I've got, the
yeah,
bad one, the good one now, have both been using the cover letter and resume that was entirely based on my thoughts. And I listened to so many people. I changed my resume cover letter like 1,000 times, and even when finding a house, this is not right, this is, so I just feel like, take listen to what others are saying, but do what your heart says, and just at least have some trust in your decision, because if the decision is wrong, at least you know that it was yours. You are
yeah.
not going to blame someone as, I shouldn't have listened to them or her or him. So yeah, that would that's what I would say to recent graduate, because I know there will be like 20 people telling you 30 different things, like, go here for PR. If you
Yeah.
go there, you don't get PR. If you do this in your resume, no one's gonna hire you. Like, you'll find out like what's right or wrong. Just keep
Yeah.
doing it. That's all.
So just like suno sabki karo apni.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Listen to everyone, do what your heart says. With this, we are towards the end of our live and the last episode of season 2 of the Shine Australia.
Yay.
Thank you so much to both of you for
Thank
joining
you.
in
Thank you.
today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you both on board with us today. Thank you to everyone who joined the YouTube live and all the comments that you have left. It's lovely to see them. And thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in on Varoni Radio. And we hope to see you in next season. Thank you so much and grateful to both of you today.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Disha.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.